Hi friends, this is Wendy with Love and Stampin'. I'm excited you're here with me today. Today we're using a stamp set from the Rabbit Hole Designs. This is the Very Best stamp set. This is my second design team card with the design team for Rabbit Hole Designs. I'm using my mini Misty here to hold this in place, and we're going to do some stamping and masking. So to start out, when you want to stamp an image and you want to create a scene, any stamp that you want to appear in the forefront of the scene, you want to stamp first. So I'm stamping this cupcake first because I want it to appear in the front of everything else. Then we're going to mask this cupcake, and then we'll stamp the macarons, and then we'll mask both the cupcake and the macarons, and we'll stamp the wreath. Here I'm using a piece of Stampin' Up's masking paper, and I'm using, I think I'm using Hero Arts Intensified Black ink, and I'm just going to trim this out, and then I'm going to stamp that macaron set just like I said. This is all from the same stamp set. This is such a fun way to create a really beautiful, interesting card without having to use dies or punches or extra stuff. These kind of cards can be time consuming, but they are so worth it. Now, I made a few mistakes with this card in my opinion. You know, if I didn't point them out to you, you may not consider them mistakes. But for me, I didn't love how this card turned out in the end. What I did love is I loved the colors, absolutely loved the colors that it came out being. I really, truthfully, the only thing I didn't like about this card when I was all said and done was my placement of the wreath. In my head, this would kind of look like a background piece behind these, but instead I feel like it kind of just got muddled with the cupcake and the macarons. And then I did my best to fix it and do something to break that up. So I kept everything in this video because I wanted you to see how I went about fixing all of my little things that bothered me. I wouldn't even call them necessarily mistakes because there might be other people that find them just fine and not even think there's a single issue with it. But for me, it was just something I felt like could have been better. I am still learning how to create scene cards. I'm still learning how to Copic color. All of this is a process for me. So I feel like it's really good to have, you know, experiences in creating. Also, I do want to mention that I have linked to all of the products that I used today over on my blog. There is a link below this video titled Measurements and Supplies. If you click that link, all of the supplies that I used in today's video will be listed there, including the supplies from Rabbit Hole Designs, Misty, and Stampin' Up. I am not an affiliate with the Rabbit Hole Designs. However, I am a design team member. So if you have any questions about that, you can always message me, but I've addressed it in several videos. I don't feel like it's necessary to continue addressing. Here I'm using pecan pie for my ink underneath, and I used a piece of Post-it note masking tape. Here I'm going in with some early espresso around the edges, and this just is creating my countertop. And then I want to create a really cool background. So I'm starting with Azure Afternoon and ink blending all over. And then I'm going to create kind of not a halo effect. I'm trying to think of the word I want to use. Like a highlight effect. I want the center where the wreath is to be lighter and the outside to be darker. So I'm using Starry Sky ink and Azure Afternoon to kind of create this really beautiful contrast. Then I'm laying down the connected, I think it's called Connected by the Stars stencil. This is from the Rabbit Hole Designs. And I'm inking some more. Then this is the magic. This always feels like Christmas to me, is like peeling away your masking paper and seeing what you have left is just like the best thing ever. I never get tired of it. And so for this card, I'm kind of going for a 4th of July theme or feel. I wanted it to just feel very patriotic and fun and really just use those summery, beautiful, happy colors along with the US colors of red, white, and blue. And that was my focus for this card. I also felt like I did accomplish that. I feel like by putting the stars in the background, that kind of gave you the hint that this was a 4th of July card. And then I also felt like the colors of everything felt very summery. So here's where you can see, as I peel away the masks, that the wreath kind of just looks like an extension of the top of the cupcake. I'm not super crazy about how that turned out. In my head, this was gonna kind of look like a cool background drop, and we do some things to make it better. So hang in there and watch the coloring, and you'll see at the end we do make it better. But right off the bat, when I peeled all the masking off, I was a little bummed. I was like, man, this looks a little bit busy. So we're going to start out by coloring the countertop. And to do this, I'm just swatching some of my Copics, and then I'm just going in with a really light hand and making little streaks and marks and swirls to just give the effect of a wood grain look. I did this with a couple of different colors, and I think that part of this card turned out fantastic. This is a trick that I've learned through Sandy Allnock, Kelly Taylor, different YouTube coloring artists. And then here, of course, I needed these cupcakes and macarons to look like they were sitting on the counter. So we're giving them some shadow. We'll give a little more shadow later, but that's just to start with. There we go. There's some more. And so that gives them more of an appearance and anchors them to the counter more. So anytime you're coloring something and you want to make it look like it's sitting on top of something, you always want to put shading directly under it, because that gives it the effect of it sitting on top of something. So here I'm going in with Copics and coloring in red. This is obviously sped up enormously. Look at me, I'm getting better. I put my Copic marker lids at the top so that you could see them. I used R39, R29, and R24 to color the strawberries. And my approach with this was just to go in and color everything that I wanted to be in red first, and then move on to the next colors. So I'm coloring the little bow around the macarons red as well, and the strawberries are red, and then the little dots in the cupcake are red. Now for my macarons, I ended up making them chocolate, and I kind of regret that decision. We'll get to those in a minute, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. And then I'm going in with all of my greens that I want to use and coloring all of my greenery. Anywhere where two objects meet together or one lays on top of another, you're going to have it be darker. So that's kind of the rule of thumb I follow. And if you watch my friend Kelly Taylor, you will hear her say the exact same thing. That's where I learned that. So it's very, very helpful when you're coloring, because you can literally just look at something and be like, okay, well, this item is laying on top of this item, so it should be a shadow, or this item's touching this item, so there should be a shadow there, type of thing. So I'm going around getting all those green pieces colored, and then I'm looking at my stamp, because I realized that there was a little area here that was a little confusing. I couldn't tell exactly, like I think a little bits and piece there didn't get stamped all the way. So I had to look at my stamp to figure out where those lines were, and I was able to figure it out. As far as the color choice of everything I did, except with the exception of the macarons, I really love it. I think my color choices were really, really good, and I feel good about the color combo. Bright, cheery, summery, fun. Here I'm going around the edges that didn't quite get ink blended because of my mask, and I'm using Tahitian Tide to just kind of go around the edges and darken up a little bit so that you don't see those white lines on the outside edge. For the center of all my flowers, I used a yellow, and then I wanted all of my flowers to appear white, so I just put shading, a little bit of gray shading in them, and tried to leave them alone and not overdo them. So after I shaded my flowers, and I will say I struggle with this a little. I know it's super important to add shadows when you're wanting something to appear white, but I'm always a little bit like, did I go too far? So now I'm not sure if those, you guys all have to let me know in the comments below. Do the flowers now look gray or do they still appear to be white? I don't know. And then the thing around the cupcake, I went with a really dark blue on the lines, and then I went lighter as it went out. And here you can just see I'm swatching my colors, trying to decide what colors to use. And then I put my marker caps up there out of the vision of the the video, so you don't know what they are and I don't know what they are. Well, I tried. Okay, so here I'm stamping my sentiment in Starry Sky ink. And I colored the macarons in that brown, and everything is colored and beautiful. However, I do not like that it's so offset, and I don't like that the cupcake top matches in so well with the wreath. So this is my fix. I took a C5 marker and I went around the edges of the top of the cupcake and the top of the macarons in order to try to kind of push back the wreath. And I think it worked. I think that you can see some division there after I did that, and that really helped break things up. So I'm going to take my die and cut out. These dies are sold separately, just so you know. If you are one of my regular Stampin' Up! Friends, they don't sell bundles at the Rabbit Hole Designs the way that they do for Stampin' Up! So you just buy them separately. So this cuts out the sentiment, and then we're going to do some heat embossing for the rest of the sentiment. And then you're going to see that we end up trimming down this panel because I didn't like the placement of everything in the end. So I had to trim things down to make it fit the way I wanted it to and to make the panel look the way I wanted it to. So let's talk a little story time, okay? At the time of me recording this video for you, I am having a very busy day. My aunt has arrived from Montana to visit. She's staying with us, and she's doing a little bit of running around for me today, actually. She's going to get some straw for the pig pen and some other medicine that we need for the pigs. We've got a sick pig. Not exactly sure what's wrong with him, but we had a pig, the breeder came and looked at him and gave us some ideas, and so the guy's coming back tonight at the time I'm recording this to double check him and see if things are okay. I think the pig's going to be okay. I'm hoping the pig's going to be okay because there is quite an investment now at this point in the pig. So I thought I would just give you that quick update for those of you who watched my YouTube premiere on Tuesday. That's an update on the pig. If there's anything else new, I'll be sure to let you know. Let's just say a little prayer because we have a lot invested in these pigs. Not to mention, he's an animal and I don't want him to be sick, but also we have a lot invested in these animals and I would really like them to make it to market. So there's that. Okay, so what else is happening? Well, at the time that you're watching this video, I'm still preparing for company, and one of the ways I'm doing that, because I have more company coming, is having a yard sale. Let's talk about the junk we collect, okay? The junk we collect over years. I'm disgusted with myself is what I am. I buy too many things and it's gross. So, excuse me. So what I've been doing over the last year probably is purchase whatever I've decided, like, oh, we don't need this anymore, we're not going to use this anymore, how things just accumulate, gifts, whatever. When it's something I'm like, I want to get rid of this, I've been piling it up in our shed and saying either we'll have a yard sale or we'll take it to hospice. Now 99.9% of the time I take things to hospice. That's what I do. However, my daughter is getting very close to not needing to own. Let me rephrase that. That sounded very pretentious and first world problem-y. My daughter is getting close to the age of driving. We want to be able to purchase her a vehicle, and we have done so already recently. We found an old truck that she's going to buy. We in our house decided that we didn't want to just purchase a vehicle for her. So from the time she was about 12, we told her, when it's time for you to have a car, we will match whatever you have saved. Okay. So that's what we're doing. And she found an old truck that has really low miles. It's actually her trainer owned it. And she's going to be purchasing that. And so I thought, well, we could do a yard sale, and the money we make from the yard sale can go towards the purchase of the truck. So I told her anything she put in the yard sale that belonged to her, any money she made would be hers, obviously. And that any money I make from the yard sale, I will give her half of. So that can be partially going towards her truck purchase. We're very lucky that the person that owns the truck is somebody that we're friends with. So it's not like a super huge, crazy situation. Like, it'll all be fine. And Macy has already saved some money, so she's not starting from zero. So I cannot believe that I'm having this conversation with you guys right now. I cannot believe I'm saying to you that we're at the point where my daughter is going to need a vehicle. So she is only going to be 15 years old this year. However, when you come across a deal like this one, you don't pass it up. The truck is a 1996 Chevy, and it only has 90,000 miles on it. You heard me right. That's like 2,600 miles a year, just for quick math for you. Super low mileage. And in addition to that, it runs great. Everything on it's great. It has brand new tires on it. I mean, it's kind of one of those like super awesome, you stumble across these situations once in a lifetime situations. And it's got a huge engine in it, which kind of is a drawback for gas mileage. However, it will pull a horse trailer with a horse in it. You see where we're going with this. My kid is going to have horses on a horse trailer and all of these things probably most of her life, I would imagine. I don't see this changing. So, not that this truck is going to last her whole life, but I'm just saying. So we got this truck for a very, very good deal. I'm not going to share the amount just because I don't think it's appropriate, but very, very good deal. Very happy with it. And so, yeah, that's been the exciting news around here. And it will give us an extra truck for hauling hay, running around, needing to pull something. It'll pull anything because it's got the 454 big block in it, I'm pretty sure is what the engine is. So it also will not be able to pass a gas station without crying and needing to be filled up. So there's that. And we've talked to her about that and explained we're not paying for your gas. You're going to have to pay for your own gas. So we'll see how it all goes. The great news is I feel like it's a truck we would be able to resell, and it's a decent investment. I don't feel like we're going to be up a creek with it if for some reason it doesn't work out. And like I said, at the end of the day, I think we stumbled upon a really awesome opportunity. I'm super, super happy about that. And I would rather my kid be driving a big old clunky truck than one of the little bitty cars if I have my choice. So let me know in the comments below if you have kids that are already driving, or maybe you have grandkids at this point, grown kids. Let me know in the comments below what you guys did for a first car situation. Did you just make your kids completely buy them themselves? Did you go in halves? Did you pay for their insurance? Did you help them with gas? Like, I would love to know, because that's the next thing, right? Like, we have a year to figure all that out, but I'm curious. Okay, so we're finished with this card. All in all, I think it's beautiful. The colors are gorgeous. The sentiment being added to the top of the wreath really helped kind of not have that wreath be so kind of like oddly placed, I feel like. And then I'm just going in with some Rabbit Hole Designs embellishments, and I'm just adding them. These are just clear epoxy dots that have a little bit of glitter in them, and they're really cute. So I'm just adding a few of those. And this is my second card for the Rabbit Hole Designs design team. I think I did pretty good. Adding a little Wink of Stella to my strawberries, because why wouldn't I? And yeah, I'm happy with this card and how it turned out. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I super appreciate you taking the time to be with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, super appreciated, of course, always. And if you have any questions for me, drop them in the comments below. And I'll see you next time, friends. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me. Shop with me at shoploveandstampin.com or any of the other links that I provide over on my blog. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.